Hey, you guys. Welcome to Dustin and Michelle. I am Michelle.
I'm Dustin. How's everybody? We could have traded spots, I suppose, for one night.
I know. We hope you guys had an amazing week of sales. I know that things definitely picked up just a little bit for me. How about you, babe? How'd you do?
I did all right. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, we, I don't know. It was a pretty decent week. I sold some good high value media, some good CDs. We sold, if you had been seeing our last Dustin and Michelle, we were showing some things that we found at a thrift store. And I've already sold those two things that we thought were really good. I've already sold the DVD complete series set, and the DNA testing has already sold. So a couple $50 items. We would have got your money back on that.
For those of you who didn't see what were we doing? Oh wait, have you done that video yet? Or are you still working on it? I'm so confused. We're so busy with all these fabulous things.
Sure. The long form YouTube video is still in the works. I got the first layer done, so that should be out by Tuesday for sure.
Okay, you guys have to see this because you'll never believe what I found. I still can't believe I found it. And I mean, Dustin almost died. I'm like, what do you think about this, honey? He's like, So it definitely picked up for Poshmark for me. And other than that, we are actually getting together at the end of the week. Dustin's coming out to see me in New York, New Jersey. Yay! For the first time. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm so excited too.
Yeah, we've been going back, kind of like, you've seen pictures and things, but yeah, so he's coming out to the East Coast and I'm super psyched. So I'm sure we're going to be having fun. I'm sure we're going to be doing some films. And of course, you guys will all be enjoying this with us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward. And tonight we have some special guests with us. We have Mike and Carl from Pickers Podcast. We had them, we were on their show a few weeks ago. So we had a really great time and we're excited to welcome them back here. Without further ado, let's welcome them.
Yay! Welcome, guys.
Hey, guys. Dustin Michelle, good to see you.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
How you doing, Carl?
I'm so excited to talk underpants stories again. Is that where we're up to tonight?
Oh, yeah. The underpants and the Salvation Army.
Right.
I don't know if you guys caught that short that I recorded for you. That was that little clip of Michelle.
I didn't see it. Oh, my goodness. I'll have to go back and take a look.
Yeah. Go right
Showdown at a garage sale regarding underpants is what that's all about.
It got a ton of views, too. It was kind of funny.
It just doesn't seem like garage sale and underpants actually work in the same sentence, but I'm sure I probably said it. Knowing me, I just don't have any recollection.
No, it was the showdown. It was when you were offended with somebody who was opening packages and you were like, I'm not afraid of you.
Oh, yeah. Yes!
That's the one. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Okay. So wait. I want to talk about you guys.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're so, thank you. Dustin and I were talking and have been talking this week about how interesting you guys are because you're doing a podcast. And I am not that familiar with how many people are doing podcasts. I'm still relatively new here. I'm doing hosting. I'm doing part-time selling some kind of, in like 6 different things.
Wait a second. Are you asking because you want to do a podcast? Is that where this is going?
I could talk the paint off a wall, but I am not doing a podcast.
Okay. All right.
I love what I do and I love doing the hosting with Dustin and stuff like that. But yeah, I like downtime too.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. So Mike, go ahead.
It is busy. What you guys are doing is kind of podcasting in its own, right? It's just two people talking with each other back and forth. We just happen to be on all the major podcast platforms at Pickers Podcast. If you want to go on and listen.
Yes, guys, go check out their podcast. Head to the YouTube channel here. I'm going to leave a link actually for you guys.
That's nice of you. Nice. Mike and I'll probably name drop as many times as possible, though.
He is so good at doing this, like talking and doing. I don't even know what he does.
Yeah,
is good at it.
Right.
All right, you guys. So let's get to it here real quick. How did you guys decide you wanted to do the podcast formation? How did that happen?
don't you take that one, Carl?
Yeah, so probably out of like just being generally naive, I would say, because I had a different podcast going and it was going great. And that's actually how I got connected with Mike. And I had this like side hustle passion of doing like the reselling stuff. And I was like, you know what? I bet there's no like reselling podcast or garage sale YouTube channels like this. This is like an untapped market out here. I bet there's a lot of people that'd be interested. I didn't realize how big it already had become on both platforms. So kind of like out of, I guess, naivety, I was like, oh, let's just get this going. And so Mike and I went out on the garage sale circuit here in Castle Rock, Colorado last summer, and Mike liked it, I guess, enough. You can speak to that, Mike, to explore the topic a little more.
Right. So Carl approached me, and we'd become friends. I don't know, we've been friends for a couple of years already. We got to know each other pretty well. And he approached me, and my mom, when I was growing up, we grew up dirt poor. So my mom garage sold constantly. And we used to we'd joke around with her that we're going to get a t-shirt that said, I do U-turns for garage sales. Cause it was common. She's like, oh, mom's got to stop at the garage sale. There's a garage sale sign.
It was super 70s. Like garage sales was super 70s.
Right.
Like,
so when Carl approached me with it, it was just like nostalgia was coming back. I've got some friends that do estate sales. They manage estate sales and stuff like that, but it intrigued me enough I had a conversation. We sat down, had a business meeting, drew up a plan and see if it could work out, and got really excited. But it's another full-time job. Let me tell you, the videos, the sourcing, the
all
listing, all that stuff. But it's been so much fun. I've been loving it.
And side note, as Mike was saying, like I actually do remind a lot of people of their moms. So you're welcome, Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to ask why.
No, I was being silly. Mike's like, Carl brought back the memories of my mom. You turning. I'm like, I'm not a mom. I didn't.
No, just garage selling. Come on.
I know.
It was nostalgia, so I really got into it, and I've really enjoyed it. I've actually started a side business with it, and it's kind of breaking news, but my wife quit her job. She resigned from what she was doing, and she's actually taken on the reselling business full time. It's becoming that profitable.
Mike,
awesome!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's really freaking amazing and so courageous. Congratulations! That's very courageous.
It's scary. It is really scary when somebody quits their job, but hey, the numbers are there. They're not lying. So.
And did you say that you made your wife quit her job to do the reselling business? Or that
no, I did not make my wife.
Right, just clarifying.
She enjoys doing that stuff too.
Okay.
And she's been killing it at it. She's literally, I've never seen so many sales go through this business. And she's
really?
What is she selling?
Yeah.
Everything. So we picked up old house fuses that you screw in to the old panels.
Wait, old ones? Not like used fuses.
They're not used. They're brand new. Some were still in the package. But instead of the $5 at the hardware store, we paid pennies for these things. So we're listing them for $2, $3, $5 for them.
Yeah.
A lot of what we went through our backpacking equipment, and we sold a ton of our backpacking gear that we just never used.
Yeah.
We have 6 or 7 MacBook Pro boxes and Apple AirPod boxes, just any empty box that somebody's going to get rid of. We just list it, and you can get $5 or $6 for those things. It's crazy.
Empty boxes.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Dustin probably knows all about fuses. This man knows everything. His so diverse, except for the women's clothing, which is why we make a perfect couple.
Wait, Dustin, you don't know women's clothing?
I did at one point. Yeah.
Vintage nightgowns? You're not into vintage nightgowns?
No, I love vintage nightgowns.
He just appeases me. And he's just a good, we just support each other. And, when he talks about like printers or whatever he's talking about. The baseball bat shipping tip was really great. I have to say that because I get so freaked out by extra large packages. I just do. I won't buy it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I mean, a lot of it, what it comes down to is just having the right box. And once you have the right size box, I mean, I think that's half the battle of like, okay, here's this baseball bat worth $200, but I don't know how to ship it, so I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
I used to be like that. Yeah, I used to be like that. So just bit the bullet on some things, grab some larger size boxes and all the materials that you need. So when I come across those, larger items that are worth a couple $100, I'm able to ship them on out without, worrying about anything.
Yeah, but boxes, especially like odd shaped boxes, you could be hanging on to those for a long time. Do you have like a box room where you just have all your, boxes and misshaped stuff and packing material? What does that look like for you guys?
Do you not see his background?
It's like the living
room.
room.
See his background?
Yeah, you're right.
Eye contact. I'm doing eye contact.
It's in a couple different places. I have one place, Michelle, you've seen it. It's a big pile of boxes. Yeah. And
this man is so organized. No, don't let him tell you anything. It is like squeaky clean. Nice. Everything is organized. Okay. Everything is like little, so clean and little. And that's what's really inspiring me to like look for little things because he's packed to the hilt and so super he has to be organized in the space, Okay. So and
clean. So like, do you vacuum out the boxes too?
Yeah, I don't like that cardboard dust, man. Customers aren't gonna like that, man. That messes with my brand.
All right. You're an inspiration to us all then. That's impressive.
I wanted to ask you guys, is there anybody? Okay, well, first of all, I want to know what other podcasts that you were doing before you started this one. I'm curious. Did it have anything to do with reselling, or was it
different genre? Yeah, it's like Mike already alluded to it. Like it's backpacking. It's called Backpacking and Blisters. It's an outdoor adventure podcast, and that's how Mike found me, was through that podcast. But
yeah, he did. Okay.
Cool. So the side hustle garage selling that started. I guess more recently, but I just really like it and kind of go out every year and kind of load up, and just thought it was a lot of fun, and I had some things to say, tips to share. Again, not realizing that there's a lot of folks that have things to say and tips to share.
You've been doing this since college, though, haven't you, Carl?
No, my wife's was like a stay-at-home mom for the first few years. My kids were really young, and so we actually weren't really making ends meet. Like I needed to have a second job. I think at first it was working, but then it was just like, you have surprise costs or medical costs or whatever. And so when I started reselling stuff and sourcing things, that put us out of the red into the black each month. And so we were kind of just making it with the reselling stuff. And then once she went back to work, I still was like, well, I still really like doing this. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Does your wife get involved with reselling still, or Carl?
Yeah, and she's not to the extent that Mike's wife is, but like she'll do things where, we'll go to a garage sale and she'll say, buy this, and I'll say, really? Like that mixer, that KitchenAid mixer? I mean, we don't even know if it works. You want me to buy that? She's like, it doesn't matter if it works. It's a good deal. And then I'll buy it and we'll make a ton of money on it. But she doesn't have the same endurance. She doesn't want to go for hours and hours and hours. So I think it was last summer I found like a gold mine of electronics where I asked if a guy had certain electronic items, and he's like, I have everything that you'll ever want in one spot. But he had to dig it out, and my wife was like, I just want to go home. And so I think I got like a fraction of it. And yeah, she just doesn't. I mean, I probably go too long, too far, whatever. So she'll come for part of the time.
She will.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. What about how long? No, yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
Sorry, go ahead, babe. There's like a little bit of a lag. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, say what you guys do besides reselling. What's when the day is done? Do you go out golfing? Do you go?
Yeah. What are your passions? Do you have anything else that you love to do? Eat out or?
There's more to life than reselling, is what you're saying. Okay, well, that's
a
strong implication here. All right, Mike, what you got?
Yeah. So my personality, it fits reselling really well because I have probably a pretty severe case of ADHD, and I like to get. I like to know how to do everything, but I don't. I like to be the one that researches how to do a new hobby, but doesn't really like doing the hobby. I just like researching doing the hobby. It's kind of funny the way my brain works.
That's not the way it works.
I do. I do all kinds of stuff. My wife and I love to travel. I'm building out a van right now that we're going to go travel in for a while. I play disc golf. I source. I'm a computer geek. I'm working on editing. We like to travel. We went to the Azor Islands. I'm working on editing the videos that we went to the Azor Islands with.
Fun.
It's just
I'll give you guys $5 if you know where the Azor Islands are. By the way, $5. What country? What country? What country's
The
near?
Azor Islands.
Yeah.
Australia.
I'm gonna say it's in Greece.
You're closer.
Yeah.
I just like when people throw things. I just went over here. You have no idea where this is. I'm just gonna name drop. Mike, where? You gotta explain, buddy.
So it's part of the country of Portugal, and it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean though, so it's in between the United States and Portugal. What it used to be is the planes couldn't fly long enough with the fuel to make it all the way over to Europe, so they used to land in the Azor Islands, and the United States built an Air Force base over there so we can refuel our jets to get over to the European. But it's so beautiful over there. They call it the unknown Hawaii because it's just so rugged and juggly and rainforest and just lush, green, beautiful lands. It's amazing. But I'm Portuguese. My grandfather immigrated from one of the islands, and so we went back over there, me, my brothers, and my cousins, and we actually found the house that he grew up in on Azor Island. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Wow. Found some relatives. We were just standing in the middle of the street asking people if they knew such and such family, and this one family happened to know, and she took us over, and we got to meet some of our relatives that we never knew that we had. It was kind of cool.
Wait a second. So you're just walking the streets, and you're like, "Pardon me, do you happen to know so and so?" Like showing pictures. Okay,
literally,
you're just like stopping strangers in the street, interrogating them. Okay, nice.
That's the beautiful thing about the Azor Islands is everybody is so friendly over there that it's just normal to stop and talk to people. And
gotcha.
This one little young older couple invited my brother and my wife into her house to show her all of her art and everything else while her husband was making phone calls trying to find the family that they thought that they knew. It's a long story, but it was incredible. And it was like when she walked out of the door, we all just started crying and just like hugged each other. It was like we had known each other all of our lives. It was crazy.
I love that.
If you do that like in America, you start stopping people, they're going to be like, "Hey, are you a cop?"
Yeah, exactly. That's like, what do you want? What are you doing?
You can't even smile at anybody in New York or say thank you for opening the door.
Right.
They look at you like,
why did you do that?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm going to tip you.
I was in New York City and held the door for somebody, and they looked at me like I had something growing on my forehead. Like,
isn't that crazy? Man.
Yeah, different parts of the country for sure.
Yeah. My wife's from the Midwest, and when she said that coming out to California, she moved to California 9 years ago, and she was like, "Oh my God, you guys are so sensitive out here." It's so weird. It's just the different stages of where people are, and it just even in the U.S., it's just so crazy how different personalities are.
It's like when you go home. You said your wife's from the Midwest, and you guys get this too. It's like they pack groceries so freaking slow that I want to like do it. And I'm fine doing my own groceries. I'm fine pumping my own gas, whatever. Oh my God.
Wait. Was there like a grocery store face off too? Where you like, pack on faster. No,
I just take over and start doing it.
Oh, you just kind of. All right.
Thanks. That's cool. I'll help. I'm nice about it. But
have you ever taken like a can of something out of the person who's packing hands so that you could put it into the bag faster? You're like, actually, I got that.
I actually was a grocery. I worked for Kroger's, and I was a grocery bagger. That was my first job.
Oh, so you're like semi-pro then at that. Okay.
Yeah, you're a pro bagger.
Yeah. That's so funny. Don't let Mike fool you with all his like side stories about random islands in the Atlantic Ocean, though. He does a lot of stuff with the church, and he helps out a lot of folks on a weekly basis. So yeah, that's another connection we have. So I like leading Bible studies is kind of my thing, as like a side passion. Taking people on adventures, going backpacking and trail running and camping and all the outside stuff, and taking people with their kids, and we just got back from Canyonlands National Park in Utah.
I love last weekend.
Yeah.
I love this stuff, you guys. I love
Yeah.
that you're passionate and that you're a part of your church. And that's the stuff that's like, I'm glad you're drifters and whatever, but to me, that's cool. Like
Right.
that's their passion, you know,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we got going
It's a
on.
lot of fun.
Cool.
And I'll tell you what, this reseller community, getting to know all of you and meet and interview and just chat with you guys and on Instagram, Facebook, and all those places, it really is a community. Like we had Will on. He's so fun to talk to, and Joe from I'd Flip That. We talked to him.
Yeah.
And
Wait. Speaking of that, I'm new to the live stream stuff, and I'm seeing these like messages flash across the screen. People are saying hi. Like, are we supposed to say hi back to them, or how does that work?
Oh, I mean, we can do whatever we want.
Okay.
I tend to put these on the screen for everybody to see, and if we have the opportunity to converse.
Say hi to the little squirrel. Hi.
Yeah, I saw that squirrel, and I'd Flip That, and I think I saw Wendy made a comment about Mike's
Have you had
comment.
depicting creatures on
Wendy
that?
Ellison, that's my mother. We had Let's Do Lunch podcast. We got
I don't have any names. Who's in here? Is my mom in here? I don't see any comments on
Wait, so we're inviting moms in? I should. Okay, I'll text her right now.
Yeah.
I invited my wife. I invited my wife. You didn't invite anybody, Carl?
I'm new to the live stream. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if.
Well, as far as everybody that I can see here, I'm not seeing your mom right now, Michelle, or she hasn't commented at least.
Okay.
But we got also Let's Do Lunch podcast in here. Joe Nicole, I'd Flip That. We got.
Cool.
Wait, do we ask questions? Do they answer? Like if I pose a question,
we have a rural squirrel. We got I'd Flip That, and yeah, everybody's here. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. I'm sorry, Carl.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to ask, like, if we ask a question, like, does anybody else know where the Azor Islands are, for example? Would there, excuse me, would they be, like, type in? I knew, yeah. Mike. I knew. Okay.
I didn't see anybody that answered that one, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody knows where the Azor Islands are. Come on.
I didn't know where they were until you went, Mike. I didn't know.
Yeah. I know. When we were leading up to the trip, I had to tell everybody we're going to Portugal, but then they think that I'm going to the mainland. I'm actually going to the islands in Portugal or off of Portugal. So,
well, maybe it's because when I grew up, planes could cross the Atlantic the whole time, like they could make it across. And you knew that from your childhood when they had to stop there.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct?
When I was a baby and I had to fly over. Okay. So, Carl, that means that you can't mess up and we can't edit this out. So it's just live tape. Whatever goes.
That's what I really like about live. First of all, I'm horrible at editing. So I have to do things in one take. I do things in one take. And it saves me all the editing, and it saves me so much time because I just throw it up. I do a story, I throw it up there. I add a couple little things. That's all I can do with my camera 360, which I love. And that's it. And stick it up, Yeah,
that was going to be one of my questions for you guys. What kind of equipment do you guys use? Like cameras, microphones? What do you got?
I have a lighting set that I really, really like. I'll go ahead and leave a comment for it. When I first started, I had the box lights, those big box lights. They're really nice, but they were so big. I couldn't get away from them. I felt like I was living in my work all the time.
Yeah.
And then I got these nice little flat ones, two of them. I think they were about $180 for both of them, but they're this tall and about that thick. So you can move them back and forth. They've got little tighteners that go up and down, but they're bright. Right. This is a crummy old, I don't even know why my Mac's even working now, but no, this is the 19. I don't even know what Mac. I think my kid's 14. Got to be about 14 years old.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, it's working. If it's not
lights, that's about fancy as I get.
If it's not working, don't fix it, right? Or if it's working, don't fix it.
Right.
Look, I just got bright. That's weird.
That's the autofocus on your camera, probably.
Yeah.
My studio equipment isn't all that crazy either. I mean, I have the same sort of lights that you're talking about. It's like these here.
Oh.
You can just really quickly, turn them on and whatever. Just really small, nice.
Yeah.
For picture taking, and it's what I'm using for lighting right now on me. It's not that great, but I also use a Lenovo ThinkPad laptop for editing. The specs are all right to get good editing, but I do also have a desktop that I just bought, and I'm just hooking it up. So I'm gonna hopefully that's gonna help the editing. And I use a like $25 webcam here that I purchased whatever, and my Samsung Galaxy S21 and a GoPro. That's about it.
Cool.
Okay, I'll give you guys 5 more points each. If any of that stuff you use, you actually got like at a garage sale or some other, you know, like thrifty kind of place.
I got my studio microphone in the Goodwill bins. I got my selfie stick at the Goodwill bins.
Okay, 5 points. 5 points.
Yeah, yeah. No, when I decided to start a YouTube channel, I started finding those things in the bins.
Yeah,
it's just kind of works out.
Right on. Man.
I see them at yard sales all the time too. But
so I have a question for you guys. Where do you see the podcast going? Like, what is your ultimate goal? What is, what's your, like, what do you see?
That's a good question. What is the kind of long-term goal?
Yeah.
Mike's the visionary. So what's the long-term goal here, Mike? What you got?
We're going to retire. That's what we're going to do with it. We're going to get rich and retire off of the podcast. No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I love working with Carl, and him and I are really good friends off the air too. So just the camaraderie of having the podcast with Carl and talking with them and bouncing stuff off of them, we connect real well and chat real well together. But with I'm really gearing towards YouTube myself, because I think it's just the platform where everything's going to. It's got a better chance of going viral on something, you know, the monetization of things. Eventually, you know, the podcast is doing actually really good. So I could see us being able to get sponsorships if we wanted to, but I want to stay away from that kind of stuff that really puts a bad taste in my mouth, that somebody else dictates what I get to do on their show, or just even dealing with sponsorships is gonna just gives me anxiety. So as long as I'm self-sufficient, as long as I'm self-sufficient and we can pay for our equipment and the podcast and stuff like that, I'm pretty happy. But if it goes into a full-time gig, I wouldn't complain. I mean, not at all, right?
Yeah,
but that's where I see it going. I was really hopeful for Twitter. I think Twitter's kind of failed. I thought that Elon was really going to go towards podcasting more and video and long form stuff, which I think he did. I just don't think it's taken off the way that he expected it to. So my focus is just going to be on YouTube. Like, I love editing videos. I love doing little skits. I plan on doing the little skits with my wife. We've got a couple of them lined out already. So that's really where I'm going with it. But we got to get all this worked out. All the cameras, the microphones, the YouTube, the lights, this,
I know.
That. It's so much.
Right.
I know. I mean, Dustin's coming out here to see me this weekend, and we've been talking about, you know, him coming here and us working together. And I mean, I have enough rooms in this house that one of those rooms could be made into a studio, which would be amazing. And it'd be so fun to be able to have a boyfriend that I could actually work with. Like, it's fun to go out with your wife and you have coffee and you, like, you know, there's like there's a process to that. And and that's also what makes it so fun, you know. And just, it is hard with the sponsorships, Mike. And I just wanted to say that because, and it's from a different point of view, I guess. It comes from my fashion point of view. And, you know, it's really difficult to fall in love with a YouTuber. And, you know, people fall in love with us. They fall in love with our personalities. They love to watch you guys talk. They love the banter. Like, that's how it is. And, you know, they fall in love with you. And I just feel like, I just feel like being with someone and having someone to, like, get excited about, like, oh, look, I thrifted this today. It's a moon rock or something. You know what I mean? And have someone be like, yay, that's awesome. Maybe we get
I know that.
I know, Michelle. Yeah, it's like when we've been able to do that, you know, and get out and, you know, talk about what we're doing in the morning, get out there, go to the thrift store, you know, and have that sort of adventure. You know, it is just it's makes it so much better. Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm really looking forward to doing some yard sales with you and get some more videos in and all that. It's gonna be a blast. Yeah.
And
Spring's
just to clarify,
around the corner.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. But just to clarify, so you have an extra room and you're choosing to potentially make a studio. You don't want to make that a room of boxes. Is that what you're saying?
Storage room.
This house is a great house. I bought it as a foreclosure because everything I do in my life, it has to be on sale.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's, it was a foreclosure. It was this big, crazy old 1800. It's, colonial. So
Right
we
on.
have lots of room. I have a child that's going out to not a boarding school, but kind of a school, an advanced sort of school down in Maryland.
Oh, wow.
I might be an empty nester, like really soon.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so this is a really fun time, and the community is so great, and meeting new people is so fun. And like you said, I was looking at your page, of course, and looking at your 8 rookie mistakes and like all that fun stuff, and the bloopers with the bubble with the peanuts.
Oh, right.
I
Air
hate
peanuts.
They're not air peanuts. They're like the air pillows. Yeah. Yeah.
Air peanuts. They're so messy.
Is that what you guys call them? Dustin, Michelle, you call the big like bubble stuff. You call those air peanuts.
The bigger ones I'll call air pillows, but
Yeah,
I know
exactly,
the packing peanuts. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
messy and annoying at times,
Right,
but they work
correct.
well. But storing
I
them
made-
and all that, man.
I made a mistake. I admitted on our last show I was calling them air peanuts and they're air pillows. Dustin, you actually have a machine that makes air pillows, don't you?
I do, yeah. Thanks.
That is stinking
really-
cool.
It is. It makes shipping so much easier. It takes that how am I going to source all this fill, and source all the bubble wrap. I think I heard you guys talking about that. Mike, maybe you picked up a bunch of bubble wrap or Carl. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Carl. Okay. Yeah.
I get it. Grocery store. I found a bunch recently, and then Mike goes like head first into dumpsters to get the bubble wrap out, like head
Exactly.
first. Just, like
Sure.
doesn't even know what's in there. Could just be like a bunch of food, and he
No,
just goes
it
right
has
in.
to be a recycled dumpster. It can't be a food dumpster. Come on. You know how I am with gross stuff. It just doesn't work.
The agility it takes to do that is impressive, though.
Yeah.
If I see some feet sticking out of a dumpster,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody yelling
just
like,
like-
"I found it! I found it!"
Hey, I got packing peanuts.
Hello.
Yeah. There's packing peanuts in here.
Right, for sure. That's so funny. Yeah, what's okay? Let's flip the question though. What about you guys? What's the end game for for your YouTube stuff going on? Sounds like you're not a fan of the sponsors. So what? Yeah, what would be the ideal
let me finish
situation?
that. Here's the thing about the sponsoring and why I didn't get into makeup. I'm trained as an esthetician. I went to school for this. Like I could have gone so easily and fallen into just the makeup stuff and the beauty stuff in 2 seconds because it's been my life.
Right.
But what happens is I don't believe them anymore. I don't believe the YouTubers anymore. When you've got, L'Oreal cramming stuff down your throat and paying you how many $1,000 a month to put their stuff on and say how great it is, we're not having a real conversation anymore.
Right.
We're talking about who's paying you.
Right. Correct.
And I get it. I totally get it. It's part of it. We're all going to have to do it. Somebody's going to say, such and such is, you don't like this website, but they're going to call you and you're going to say, you have to make a choice. Let's just put it that way. You don't have to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sit well with you. You just go, you do. You guys know. You have faith. You just let it come. If it's supposed to work, it works.
Yeah, I will say that what you're saying is correct, but there's a fine line, or not even a fine line. I just think that if I'm listening or watching another content provider, and I can tell when it's something that they use versus something they're just kind of pumping up and promoting, right? Like I can tell what a paid advertisement is versus this is something that I really believe in. And so even on our other podcasts, we've gone through like a lot of sponsors and some sponsorships. I just straight up say, I'm like, yeah, like this is something that I'm going to be bringing on my next backpacking trip versus like, hey, check out such and such from this company. And I think that it's pretty easy to tell the difference, right? So it's more, you're getting paid for their name recognition. That being said, I'm with Mike. Like it's annoying to deal with the sponsors, and so if there's other ways around that, then that's the best way to go.
Yeah,
but I'm not against free stuff. So if anybody wants to send me free stuff,
different
to try
though.
out,
That's different because you could say like, hey, we'll review your stuff, but we don't like it, right?
I know
Right.
I don't do any of that stuff. But I always make sure, like when I do my shorts, like I have no makeup on and I'm running around and whatever. But it's part of being, a YouTuber. It's trying to put yourself together nicely sometimes. And, I don't know. It's just for women, it is, if that's kind of like the thing you're going for. But most of the time I'm in my pajamas.
Do you feel like your experience as a grocery store clerk helps you at the Goodwill bins to bag things up in the cart or put them in
to
faster?
grab it quickly.
Yes, it does. I'm a great bagger.
Okay.
I know that you put the heavy stuff on the bottom and you don't put too much heavy stuff on the bottom, and then you put the light stuff on top.
Right.
Right.
Would you suggest as like a pro tip to everybody out there that perhaps we should get like a side hustle at a grocery store to train for places like the Goodwill bins?
You're ridiculous, man.
You know what I
God.
think? I think you mean charge money for bags?
No, I'm just saying like go get a job at a grocery store so we can get better at bagging things up when we're at the Goodwill bins.
Good training. He's talking about getting good training at being a grocery bagger.
Do you know in New Jersey that you can't have bags anymore? There are no bags in New Jersey.
You can't even buy them.
You can buy them, but they're not plastic and they don't decompose at all. They're made
What are
of
they?
cloth, and they charge you 75 cents or $1 for them. So
Are they metal? Like what are they made out of?
They're made out of cloth.
Okay.
They're like
cloth bags. Okay.
They're just cloth bags, and they charge you $1 for them out here. So it's very strange because, this goes along with thrifting and reusing things and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, if Dustin was out there, he could just bring all his boxes and you could just put the groceries in the boxes, right?
Yeah, I got like 6 grocery boxes in my truck, along with a bunch of IKEA bags, and I'm set. I wasn't a Boy Scout, but I did go through Cub Scouts.
Okay.
I'm so embarrassed about having him come over this weekend because my house is such a mess with reselling. Like it's so overwhelming. I'm actually super excited because it's good motivation for me to get off my butt and start. I know you do guys. Well, you have younger kids and stuff like that, right? So you're not really living. Well, I don't know, Mike, but yours are grown if you have any. But I would imagine, Carl, you have little kids, so you kind of have to keep things out of the way. You know what I learned? I learned that I can't put clothes on my bed. Guess what my puppy did? She chewed right through a gorgeous, beautiful Lululemon. Zip up, gorgeous, you guys. I actually was going to wear it myself. Shredded it. Shredded it. But you know what? I left it on the bed.
Yeah.
It was my fault.
Yeah, the animals destroy stuff, especially cats. But that's interesting. No, yeah, I've been up all my stuff, and I don't think I get as much stuff as you guys do. But it sounds like Michelle, if I'm getting you right, is this some sort of like passive aggressive way that you're going to invite Dustin over so that he can actually organize all your stuff? That's his skill, right? Come on over. Where should I put all this stuff?
We'll see how much he loves me.
I was kind of wondering. Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta let Dustin see the true sides of you. He's gonna see them eventually, anyways.
We talk on the phone. We always do video chat. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. It's not a joke. He knows.
Okay.
Right. And I know that reselling is not a tidy sport, so I'm not worried. Honey, just don't worry about it.
No, like people are, you get really good at it, you start buying storage units, right? Like that's a sign of like you're getting good, but it's also like next level in terms of organizational stuff.
I just talked to a guy about buying storage units last weekend at the yard sale. I probably should say this for our podcast, but he told me that this lady that she bought a storage unit, and he was talking about the gambles of buying a storage unit, and it was full of rocks. It was nothing but rocks, the whole storage unit. I know, it's crazy.
Hopefully it was like agates or something.
No, it's just gravel, dirt.
Wait a minute, but don't you look inside? You can kind of see what's inside there, right?
I don't know. Not according to
right?
Storage auctions, they show you pictures, and they're always, they're kind of cryptic, and they're like, what is that red thing there? But you can't quite tell. That could either be something really valuable or like a dead body. I don't know. So
I don't think that's true to life. I think that's just made up for TV that they do that stuff.
No, I've looked into this. They do that. They have that on their websites. They have pictures.
Have you guys ever done a pallet?
We've talked about it. We wanna get together one of these times, and we'll buy a pallet, and then we'll do the unboxing together. live.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
Have you guys done it yet?
We haven't talked about it, but
Okay.
we need to sort of, be in the same place.
Yeah, he's in Montana. Where you were in Minnesota, and I'm in New Jersey. So we're working on it. But
Well,
no,
if Dustin comes out and visits, he can just kind of like drop a pallet on you, kind of grab a few things and be like, "All right, see you later."
I'll check one in on the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we've discussed it. And the exciting thing is that we'll actually have enough room in our house and our garage to be able to do a couple pallets,
cool.
And so feel super blessed and super grateful for this big old creepy Adams family house.
I will say that like last summer when Mike and I were out garage selling, we did come across a house that like the lady was selling stuff off of these pallets, and then in her garage she had these like shrink wrapped. She had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 pallets still untouched in her garage. So and the stuff that she was selling at the garage, so she had like a ton of stuff, was not stuff I would be excited to resell. It was stuff that was, like I know Mike doesn't mind selling the $3 to $5 stuff, but it was a lot of like that kind of range where it's going to be a lot of effort with little reward. There might have been some other good stuff too, but it just looked like a lot of the money is going to be eaten up with the stuff that's going to just be very time consuming. So it kind of is a little bit of a deterrent for me, but I'm just scratching the surface. So I could be very naive about that too.
I've done a thread up. I did, I think 2 boxes from thread up. And they were just the clothing. I did pretty well on them. My first one, I got a little jacket, bolero, like little fur jacket with a little collar on it, mink, really cute. I did okay with them. But again, like you said, some of the stuff in there is stuff I'm just not enthusiastic about selling.
Right.
And I've learned from some of these reseller friends of mine that garage sales are a big thing too. Just put everything in the corner. You just throw everything out in the garage sale. You got it from thread up for $1.40, right? Or 89 cents because they give you a bunch of stuff. And just get rid of it. $3 for everything. Just clean your junk out,
Right. Yep.
So it sounds like a really good idea. Another thing Dustin and I were discussing.
Okay.
Oh, that needs to be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yard sale for sure.
Yep.
So Dustin, I'm interested what's your end game, going back to the question, the end game with the podcast or not the podcast, with the YouTube channel. Because I see your stuff. I know that you put a lot of time in your videos and you make some pretty darn good stuff too.
Oh, hey, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate that. I really do. I put a ton of time into editing. In general, I spend 1 to 2 hours per minute of video that I edit. So yeah, I put a ton of time, and I love to hear that people are enjoying it, because that's the point. I mean, I'm really thankful that these things are rolling here.
Tell the dog to stop barking.
That's folks.
Is it barking or is it eating clothes right now?
No, the dog's barking at the front door. Can somebody please let the dog in? Thank you so much.
It's chewing through Lululemon, just FYI.
Oh yeah.
Jake, thank you. Can you please ask your dad to let the dog in? Thank you.
Live on YouTube. So yes. Where are we going here?
You spend 16 hours per minute editing, I think you said.
Pretty much. It seems like. And no, I'm just really thankful that things are rolling. I'm thankful for Michelle and I getting together and doing this awesome show or podcast or whatever you want to call it. I just think it's really great, and we have a lot of things to look forward to. We've been talking about a lot, and
it's nice. It's nice that Dustin is so creative and great with the editing, because I'm not. So it seems to be working pretty well. That I like to do lives. I feel comfortable doing lives. So working as a team, I can go ahead and just pump out lives a couple times a day, like my reels. And I do my elementary school editing. But because it's live, we can get stuff up quicker, and it gives him time to do some of this stuff. He does his own reels and things like that, but to work on the stuff that he really likes to work on. And that's pretty cool. So yeah. So I mean, my end result with all of this is to help people learn how to make extra money for their families, to
Mm.
try to be as real and as honest and as upfront. And if I had a crappy week of sales, I had a crappy week. You know, you guys have had 2 crappy months. I've had
Mhm.
2. This is the first month it's finally picking up for me. Today I got like 6 sales. I was so happy. I put my
Yeah.
glasses. Now the dog's gonna come in. Okay, someone grab the dog. I'm so
Well, Mike says he lost his internet. So did the dog maybe chew on his internet
Oh.
cord? Is that
Oh
possible?
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if
That's what
if that's
happened.
virtually possible or not, but we'll just blame the dog. I think the dog got
We'll
you
blame
his
the
cord.
dog on it.
Yeah.
Sorry about the distraction with the dogs, you guys. That's a beauty.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's how
I
it
mean,
goes.
no, and I agree with you, sweetheart.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Our main goal is to help others, make money, help others have success in their own journey, in their own businesses, and if in any way that we can help. I think that's why we're here, and I think that's where we're going. And
yeah, that's a very similar to where I was going before I met Dustin, which was working towards being a host on QVC. That's something that I was really interested in doing because of my background. But then I started thinking about it, and with my son and going to Maryland and me staying here probably in New Jersey and trying to figure that stuff out, I don't have time to do that. But I love people and I love to host, and I've had many blessings with acting jobs in my life, but real people is what I really like. When you tell me that you're involved with your church and this is something that you find joy in, that to me, whoa, that's like the best part of this whole conversation.
Oh, that's great.
Because that's you. And that's
sure.
what Dustin and I like. We love that you guys do what you do, but I mean, I'm a cancer survivor. I don't go around talking about it too much, but I am. You know,
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, so people will look at me and go, "Oh, she's this way, or she's that way, or Carl's this way, or Mike's that way," and like you just never know. Like you just never know what's going on with people. So being helpful, finding out more about what really makes people's heart happy, and just trying to, honestly, I mean, we're just trying to help as many people as we can, because in turn, when you give like that, Dustin and I give and give with no expectation, and this from being faithful, that it finds you. It comes back to you, abundance, joy, happiness. So that's kind of the way we live our lives.
Yeah, there's never a promise of that. It doesn't always work out that way, but yeah, and that's not why you do it too. But I think when you said that people don't always know what's going on with you, I think the beauty of what you guys are doing and kind of sharing who you are, the hope I think is that you're very authentic and that people do get a sense of who you are, and you're leaving breadcrumbs of your backstory as you go, and so people that are sticking with you for the longer period of time, like they do really know who you are.
Yeah.
And there was a content provider in a different genre, the backpacking genre, that was very, very popular YouTuber, kind of got in early on it. And then he started doing a podcast, and the first episode that dropped was entitled "You Don't Know Me." And it was very like an indignant, like, you think you know me because you've seen this and that in my videos, but that's not who I am. And so when people would encounter him out in public, they sort of had this expectation that they knew who he was, and he's like, get out of here. And so that's like the opposite, sounds like, of what both of you want. That's certainly not how Mike and I operate either. But it's just, it's very sobering when you find somebody like that. You're like, oh, I thought I did know who you were because I've been watching you for years, but I guess not.
Yeah.
There's been so many times that Carl and I will have a conversation, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have hit record, because just our conversations would be like, I would be compelled to listen to this. It's so just fun and interacting and engaging with each other. So that's
one thing. It's awkward to record conversations, though, right? Like, hey, Mike, I got a question for you, but I'm hitting record right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of strange. I know what you're saying, Mike. I know what you're saying.
Life of a famous YouTuber, right, Carl?
That's right. Yeah,
exactly.
So do you want to ever get to the point where you're hanging out together, you're walking down the street, and people are like, Dustin and Michelle, saw you last on YouTube. Love the live stream.
This one over here.
That happened to us.
Honey, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah. Do you want that, though? Is that something you want?
I thought it was. I mean, I think it's pretty cool, honestly. Like, we were out at the thrift store the other day, and a gentleman asked. You know, he said he saw my GoPro, and then he said earlier that he recognized me from a video too. And it's just really cool to have somebody, you know, enjoy your work. You know, like you're saying. I mean, that's the biggest compliment, I think. You know, somebody enjoying your work, I think, and knowing that you've maybe helped them. And I mean, if I've helped one person with my YouTube, any one of my YouTube videos, my mission is complete. You know, that's how I feel, because I've also gotten compliments too about that. You know, you were a part of this learning process. Thank you so much. You know, and that to me is like, that's why I'm here. You know, I want to help you in your success and journey and all that too. And Michelle is the same exact way. It's just wonderful that we get to work together. And
yeah, I really enjoy it. You know, I mean, I could live a very different life, and I don't. You know, I love down to earth people. I grew up in the Midwest. My dad drove a truck. My mom did daycare center at my home. You know, I'm comfortable, like, just not being. I mean, the spotlight's fine. You know, when I was on Guiding Light for 3 years straight, I used to get, you know, recognized a lot. And but everybody was always so sweet and so nice and such nice people. But I was laughing because they really thought I was my character.
Right.
Like they thought, they were like, how could you do that to, you know, Patrick? And I'm like, it's not me. I'm like, I didn't really do that in real life, but it's funny because
I would like to do that. I would like to confront an actor one day and accuse them of doing something that they did, like in a movie. That'd be kind of fun, actually.
Why? Just
be ridiculous. Yeah, just film it. Just have, you know, like Dustin has his GoPro on. Just have my GoPro on. Just get a reaction. You don't know me.
That's funny. We should do that sometime. So that begs an interesting question for both of you guys. So, do you feel awkward recording at Goodwill or thrifting or garage selling or anything like that? Do you feel awkward bringing out your camera at all?
Dustin, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna let you go first, but go ahead.
You know, I am sort of very like inconspicuous about it. I just kind of hold my, you know, I hold it just out in front of me, like a little bit, you know, like sort of like that when I'm walking around, so that I can shoot. And then what I get in there, you know, if I walk around a corner, I'll pull it up a little bit, but I'm usually pretty like on the DL about it, because I can get enough information, and within 5 seconds, because I do so many reels, everything's like little 5-second chunks. I can get enough to talk about. So
perfect.
Yeah, I'm not as, you know, I don't even know how to. I barely can turn on a TV, like, for real, you guys. So I mean,
so you're not going up to somebody and saying like, "Would you take, you know, $3 instead of $5?" And FYI, I'm recording this right now, so think about what you're about to say.
Right.
You're not haggling on the camera.
No,
you know, it's Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to the GoPro in a situation like that, I just don't even pretend it's there anymore. You know, I don't even really care. You get so used to it after a little bit. My first time out with the GoPro, I actually have my YouTube video about it. My first day with the GoPro, and I was a little bit nervous, you know, and I was clear about that. But it was, you know, after a while, you just get used to it, and I think people do too. You wonder if people are like, oh my God, are they whatever about this camera on my chest? Are they gonna let me talk to them? You know, are the cashiers gonna be like, oh, put that camera away? You know, something like that. So
right.
I did see that happen. At a Goodwill, though, because the thing is that, you know, again, from the other side of the business, you're not really supposed to use people's pictures in any films or anything without their permission. It's against the law.
Right.
And I was like looking around a store, and something broke and cracked in I heard something break. And I turn around, and there's a girl with a friggin' GoPro camera, and she's like knocking crap around, and, you know, and they were like, sorry, you know. And if she wouldn't have made a scene, if she was really much more, you know, modest, or like had it in her shirt, like kind of poking out in between buttons or something, where it wasn't like I'm holding the camera, and she had like this big fuzzy she had a fuzzy like thing on the end of her phone. It was like,
Oh, right.
like some kind of like a raccoon.
Yeah.
The mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
windsock. Wait, but maybe it was at the video. Maybe she wasn't a reseller. She's just like, I'm gonna go into a store, I'm gonna make a ruckus, and then put it on YouTube. I'm just gonna destroy stuff, and I'm gonna try to get kicked out of the store. Maybe that's the video.
You know what? She could have been. I don't even know what she was doing. But yeah,
Right.
that was the only time I've ever seen anyone kind of annoyed by it. But at garage sales, it's hard to use it because it is so much more personal. And someone will say to you, there's only maybe 5 other people there. Someone will say, you know what? I don't really feel like comfortable about that.
I know. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're at their house. You know, for one thing, you know, you might be filming their stuff at their house, and they're not comfortable with that. I haven't had any problems at a yard sale actually yet with the GoPro. Thankfully, even the estate sales, I've just walked in just walked in, and if they say something, they say something. But otherwise, yeah, just go for it, and you'll get used to it after a while.
Well, speaking of being confident with a camera, let me ask you this question then, Dustin. So on our show, we have a trivia segment at the end, and we're kind of tallying up, wins and losses for the season. And so whoever loses is going to have to do kind of like a cold call at a house, asking to go basically to pick at somebody's house. So this could be like somebody's outside mowing the lawn. They're playing with their kids. You just got to roll up and be like, hey, how's it going today? You can have a flyer with you. You'd be like, hey, do you happen to have any of these things? Like, I got cash. I'm willing to buy it right now. And that freaks Mike out. So Dustin, where do you stand on that? Would you do that?
I'm sorry, man. Holding up a sign for what?
Yeah, say it one more time again.
So if I lose trivia this season of the podcast, I have to go up to a random stranger's house that's outside and buy something from them and get them to sell me something out of their house. Is what he wants me to do.
Without having a yard sale or anything?
Correct.
Just
like what the American Pickers do. You guys have seen American Pickers. Just roll up.
Just hey, nice lawnmower. Would that be for sale?
Not that. Not that.
Nice rake. Can I buy your rake?
Because this is a big deal. Do you tell them that this is what you have to do, or are you going at it blind, like just some?
No, that's no fun.
You're not a reseller.
Like if you're like, I was dared to do this. That's no fun. No, you got to just get after it.
We got it.
So they're not going to know you lost a bet. You're just going up to.
You could tell them afterwards, but not during. Yeah.
Can I buy your bird bath?
Exactly.
Like how the pickers do it. They got a flyer. They're like, I'm looking for these things. They got a whole list of things. Do you have any of these things laying around that you don't want anymore? And then if they might say no, they might say yes. Maybe you get maybe source that way.
So I can go up to them and say, hey, I'm a reseller. I like to resell these items. Would you guys like to, or would you guys be interested?
Yeah, just like the American Pickers.
I've done this before, so for me, this is not hard. I've done it and succeeded at multiple houses. And if you're scared, I just say go to a different neighborhood.
You're crazy, dude. Yeah. What, you went up to people's houses and just asked them?
We actually just knocked on the door, and it worked that way. So
I mean, if you got like a flyer or something like the American Pickers do that says like, hey, something you could show them what you're doing or something.
Right.
I think going up there with the camera and being like just cold calling, that would be a little different. I'd give it a go though if I had to.
All right. Dustin, I'm in Minnesota. I'm gonna swing on by and we'll go together. We'll go in your neighborhood.
You're giving me a little bit more confidence.
Sounds good. Yeah.
I'm perfectly okay going into a stranger's estate sale, a stranger's house, and talking to them and start striking up a conversation. But I am terrified to go up to a stranger's house and just cold call on their door. It's just like it's my worst nightmare ever. I can't even imagine.
We'll go together. Yeah. We'll do it together.
All right. Sounds good.
It reminds me of like pre-COVID when someone would try to video dial you and you were like, you are so freaking rude for just dialing me. I come in with pajamas and you're trying to talk to me. And now it's like everyone video calls.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Like I'm in the loo. I can't talk.
Yeah.
Why are you calling me when you could text me? Is my point.
Yeah.
But that's all, it's also one of the good things about it though, because here we are doing this, and this is pretty much really inspired a lot, about us being, having a lot of time to think about what makes our hearts really happy. So I'm so thankful that you guys
Nice.
joined us today and that you shared some of your stories and your motivations and some personal stuff with us, which really means a lot. We're so grateful. And I know that we say that a lot, but we are thankful. So thank you for
Cool.
spending time with us tonight.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, we love this. Yeah, we love you guys.
Yeah, I really feel like that we
love you
could be
guys.
friends if we lived closer. I mean,
I
we
know.
share so many
Well, you
similar-
never,
Yeah.
you never, I mean, I might come out your way, Carl. I mean,
Right.
Dustin and I have been talking about, we're not really, we're warmer somewhere. So we might actually be out by you and closer to you, Mike, in
There you
California.
go.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a
Absolutely.
direct flight that goes to Denver, so I'll be out there to see you guys if you're ever out in the area.
Well,
Good
yeah,
to
and
know.
we're honored just the fact that you invited us on. We really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll have to have you guys back on the Pickers podcast because we had a lot of fun with you guys. So thank you so much for including us as well. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Once again, we appreciate it. You guys are always a pleasure to talk to, and hope to see you guys soon again.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so
And
much.
Next weekend, just a brief little reminder that we are having Collins on the Move. Christy is coming on with us, and it's a really special episode about something that her heart is really, really involved with. You guys will really love it. I've been waiting for 3 weeks to interview her, and she just has some really, really personal story to share about her family, and I'm really excited. So if you get a chance, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Saturday, we'd love to have you guys.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, guys. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Absolutely.
guys.
See you later. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.